was sitting to the side, and I heard the Spirit of God says, tell you to make this adjustment. The day seems a little different because it's adjustments. There are adjustments in the realm. There are adjustments. God says, I'm retuning, I'm redefining. God says, make the adjustment. Trust me for this move. Trust me for this shift. For it's unexpected to some, but welcomed by others. Again, on several occasions last month I told you, God says we're in a season and He don't have to tell us nothing. He just do what's in our best interest. So you need to prepare for the adjustments. One of the things we know as we're going into October is a crossover month. You're coming out of, but you're coming into. God told the disciples, we going to the other side. There's a spot you got to leave if you want to land where God wants you. It's in the crossover. It's in the exit. But it finalizes in the entrance. So make the adjustments. Father, we bless you. Again, lift your hands. Jesus said it this way, Lord, not my will, but your will be done. Not my will. Even as we're in this test you our season, as we're repenting before the Lord, as we're readjusting, God, not my will, but your will be done. So we can make this crossover. We can enter into that which you have promised and prepared. And for this we will give you praise. For this we will give you glory. As they come to serve you this morning, keep that in mind and remembrance. As you hold what it takes to get you to the next level. As you hold what it takes to get you to the other side. The simplest thing to do is just be grateful. Be thankful. To say, yes, Lord. You have a plan. You have a purpose. You have a will. You have a desire. And that's what I want. I want what you want. I need what you have. And I simply say yes to you. serve a God of signs, wonders, and miracles. We serve a God that keeps his covenant. The Bible says he will not alter the thing that he has released from his mouth. That's good news. Because God declares that if I told you I would, I will. You may be slack concerning your promise, but I keep all of mine. God says, I keep all of my word. If it were not so, I'd have told you. That's God's integrity. But how many of you know if God says it's something different, it just becomes whatever God says. So God says, I don't have to lie. I don't even have to repent. But you do. And this covenant helps us to remember what he has done, what he has promised. The scripture says, but let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of the bread and drink of the cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, because he's not able to discern the Lord's body or what the Lord did through his own death, burial, and resurrection. It says, for this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. The word sleep there is not actually sleep, it's death. For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. And that's self-examination. Test your vow. That's where we are right now. It's self-examination. God, ain't nobody got to put the light on you. I put the light on myself. Nobody else got to tell it. I'll tell it myself. But if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. But when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord. Why? So that you're not condemned with the world. We got to get this, y'all. God says there has to be a distinction. There has to be a difference between you and me. It must be a difference, a visible difference. So God says, this is why I chasten some. I chasten you to save you. Wherefore, my brethren, when you come together to eat, tarry one for another. And if any man hunger, let him eat at home, that he come not together unto condemnation. He says, and the rest I'll set in order. So this opportunity is not about condemnation. It's about entering in and saying, God, thank you for every benefit, for every promise, for every act, for everything you saved me from that I didn't even know. For everywhere you stepped in, I had no clue of. For the family you touched, just because they was connected to me. Thank you. And on the night when Jesus was betrayed, the Bible simply says, he took the bread and he broke it. He said, this is my body broken for you. Take, eat. After the same manner, he took the cup. And he said, this cup is the New Testament, the new thing I do for you. Take, drink. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you're showing forth the Lord's death till he comes. Translation is simple. Stay right here till I get there. Stay right here, connected, till I get there. Don't lose your spot in the covenant until I get there. Father, we bless you today. Thank you for covenant promises, covenant provision, covenant strategies. Thank you for your keeping grace. God, you're so good to us. You're so merciful to us. You're so kind to us, oh God. I love that you said, even when we were yet sinners, It didn't stop you. Our sins didn't stop you. Where we were, what we were doing, what we were not doing, didn't stop you from loving us. Your faith was so amazing. You said one day you'll be here. One day you'll show up. One day you'll come to yourself. And you'll recognize my love for you, my adoration for you, my heart for you. And so you hung, you bled, you died, but you rose again. And you said, now power belongs to you. Authority is yours. Operate in it. Execute it. Execute vengeance upon your enemies. For I've anointed you for such a time as this. So lift your hands. Also, why you keep making us lift our hand? Because I need you to surrender. It's my surrender to God. I ain't gonna put them up past it for the police, then I put them up for God. Yeah, I am God. Surrender. Surrender to another month of blessings. Surrender to another month of miracles, signs, and wonders. Surrender to another month of provision. To help. Surrender, God. You can have your way. And when everything is said and everything is done, I'll be back to praise you again in 30 more days. I'll be back to testify again in 30 more days. I'll be praising you again for all of your wonder. 30 more days. God, you're so good. You're so mighty. You're so marvelous. And we're grateful. We're thankful. Hallelujah. Amen. Amen. We're thankful. We're grateful. Glory to God. This morning, several places I want to go. I want to share, I want to release. Again, we are grateful to God for each and every one of you, for what God has done and what God is doing in your life. It's not coming without a fight. It's not coming without a challenge. It's not even coming without struggle in some instances. But God. But God, who is rich in his mercy and rich in his grace, is yet continuously proving himself to us. Amen? After a while, you'll hear testimony before we leave. And how God is just sparing and working wonders. I want to go to Exodus this morning, the 11th chapter, since we're crossing over. Exodus is the coming out. It's coming out. Exodus, the 11th chapter. Exodus 11. Pull some of it up on the message. In Exodus 11, let's pick it up in verse 7. It says, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue. Against man or against beast, that ye may know how the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. God says you're entering into a season now. God says if you open your mouth against the child of God wrong. Did you see what that verse says? But against any of the children of Israel, that's including us, shall not a dog move his tongue. The dog better be careful right now. This is how serious things are. This is where we are in the crossover. That even if a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord hath put a difference between us and them. You got to understand how serious the matter is right now. God says there's going to be a difference between me and them. You and them. Distinctions being made. See, we don't understand, we have not understood why God is in this season doing the thing he's doing. He said there has to be a separation between what's mine and what's of the enemy. And God says, I'm putting a difference between them. God says, tell you, I'm getting ready to plague everything that has plagued you. God says, tell you, I'm getting ready to trouble everything that troubled you. Because a difference is being set. God says, I'm resetting the standard. I was at a church the other night, and I told them, I said, here's what the Spirit of God said. God says, get ready for a divine reset. As we get to October 5th, which is the Day of Atonement. How many know atonement simply means God says, I'm covering this. Atonement means to cover. God says, I'm covering this. In essence, it's got to deal with me. I've been telling you for months now. God says, I've had enough. I told him that night at that church. God says, because of your failure to do, it was a bunch of Jones, so to speak. God says, because of your failures, watch what I do. Because you failed to come together. You failed to operate as one. Watch my oneness. Watch me atone and make for one. Watch me clean it up. Jesus. He says there's going to be a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So you got to be mindful. God says, you can't say a word against my child, my son, my daughter. We've already know what the scripture says. He says what? Touch not a prophet. You're going to know the difference. Because you're going to see a manifestation of the thing they say. Go back to, say right there in Exodus, go to chapter 8. Chapter 8, Exodus 8. Looking at verse 20. And the Lord said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh. Did you see that? Rise up and stand before Pharaoh. God says you can't be afraid to get in front of your Pharaoh. Moses, I need you to get up. And for some of us, let's get up in the morning when he tells you to pray. Get up. But don't just get up and stand up. Get up, stand up, and have a word in your mouth. Decree your day, decree your morning, pray over your family, pray over your husband, your wife. Decree the thing you want to see done. Rise up and stand up before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water, and say unto him, thus saith the Lord, what? You got to turn this loose. You holding what belongs to me. Turn it loose. See, some of you ain't told him yet. turn it loose. Some of you ain't even declared it's yours to tell him to turn it loose. Because you scared of what God promised you. You so scared you won't even claim. One of the other things God said over there, he said over today, bind up the spirit of intimidation. Why are you intimidated? Either you are who you say you are, or you're not. Why are you intimidated? Why are you allowing fear to paralyze you now? Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Why? That they may serve me. See, there's some things that belong to you that's held up from you that's keeping you from serving God. And not so much always that you got to have those things, but those things do belong to you. It will make life easy. But for some of you, you ain't moving because you ain't got it. But God says if you'll learn how to move, if you'll learn how to stand up and stop waiting on everybody else, else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and in thy houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground where they are. In essence, I'm going to attack your attack. Come on, y'all. Huh? Watch this here. He says, and I will sever in that day the land of Goshen in which my people dwell, that no swarm of flies shall be there. See, where you are, God says, it's attacking them, but it ain't attacking you. Why? Don't miss this. I'm going to put a distinction. It's no different than when he applied the blood on the doorpost. God said, what's getting ready to happen to them ain't supposed to happen to you. What's coming against them ain't supposed to come against you. Because we don't want to call. I set you aside, and you ain't got no problem being set aside. I made you different. I made you odd man out, and you ain't got no problem being odd man, odd woman out. Are they going to talk about you? Hell yeah, they're going to talk about you. Are they going to lie on you? Hell is going to do whatever it can do to cause you to miss it. But you got to be so hard after God, it don't matter. For God, I'm going to live. For God, I'm going to die. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Hell got a warrant out for you. I was over there what was it, Monday night? I was over there Monday night praying, and God said there are death warrants in the spirit. He said, cancel them. See, God said, do nothing. Nothing happens in the realm of the spirit unless somebody stand up and say something. We have to cancel those things. The enemy said, I want death. Well, God says, but I want life. What you mean for evil, God says, that's not my agenda. All your weapons are forming, but they can't prosper. You trying to touch my folk. You trying to hinder. You trying to come after, but no. Look what he said. Look what he said. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, which my people dwell, that no swarm of flies shall be there, to the end that thou mayest know us. What's the end? You got to know I'm in the midst of you. You got to know I'm your God. You got to know me in the midst of what's going on. You can't be in it and then doubt it. If you're going to doubt before it starts. Isaac Carey said, but in the middle of it, now you better have praise. You better have a worship in the middle of it. Because guess what? You're going to have to go through. Watch this. You're going to have to cross over to get to the other side. to the disciples, we're in the boat. The boat in the middle of the water. Now here's the storm. Why? Because it doesn't want you to cross over. It don't want you to get to the other side. But Jesus told them, said, why are you waking me up? Don't you realize I sleep through storms? I go to sleep in stuff like this. Why? God, how can you go to sleep? Because I've already decreed the end from the beginning. We're going to the other side. But how many know, anytime you're in motion to go, something gonna come up. Anytime you in motion to your next, something gonna come up. But do you let what comes up stop you? You all know the story. What did Jesus do? He rebuked the thing. Now watch this. Jesus, the teacher, rebuked it. The disciples, the students were in fear. See, fear will always make you close your mouth when it should be open. Fear will make you draw back when you're in your greatest moment. This is the time for me to say something. This is the time to put my education to work. The Bible says if you faint in the day of adversity, you got to go back to the gym. Taylor translation. You got to go back to the gym. Why? Because you ain't strong enough to fight. You ain't strong enough to fight. Y'all, it ain't coming without a... So what is God doing? He's making us ready for the fight. God says, cross over. Everything I'm promising you is right there. But you got to cross over. You got to go forward to get it. You got to talk to Pharaoh. You got to know who you are in God. You got to speak life. Everything is coming to kill you and to take you out. I need you to speak life. Watch this. So I'm the Lord in the midst of you. 23. And I will put, there my word is, 23. What am I going to do? And I am going to put a what? I'm going to put a division between my people and thy people. There's got to be a division. There's got to be a separation. Come out from among them and be ye what? Separate, saith the Lord. There's got to be a difference. And there's, watch this now, catch this. There's a difference and then there's a division. I'll give you one more. A distinction. You follow me now? See, you got to understand that there are certain seasons when God is shifting you and you don't fit. But the old song was, if it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. Oh, I forgot y'all, I keep forgetting. I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot y'all wasn't there in them days. I don't understand y'all. Anyway, you gotta turn it loose. Because if I hold on to what God has turned loose, he says, and I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. And the Lord did so. And there came a grievous swarm of the flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servant's house, and into all the land of Egypt. And the land was corrupted by reason of the swarm. Again, what does God say? I told you what I was going to do. Now, here's the word for you. It says it happened tomorrow. Sometimes you ain't got but 24 hours to get ready. When God's shifting and God is moving, you got 24 hours or less to make your decision. Because God says, behold, I do a new thing. shall you not know it? See, that's the problem, Brother Raymond. The people of God who say they of God and love God don't know their God. But the Bible said they that know their God shall be bold and strong and shall be ready to do what? Great exploits. Move out. Tell Pharaoh, we got to deal with this. Huh? You messing with my stuff. You messing with my house. You messing with my family. That's my child. That's my blessing. Watch this. 25. The ending of 24 says, and the land was corrupted by reason of the swarm. But look at 25. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron and said, go serve your God. I ain't messing with y'all. See, watch this. You see it, you missed it. It's your obedience that's going to make your enemy turn loose. It's when you obey God in the season he told you to obey him. You want to obey him in the season you want. God says, watch this. God said, there's an anointing on the word I released for now. The Bible says that's 24 hours after the swarm, the Pharaoh said, go handle you in your God, because I can't deal with this. This is how much God wants you free in this season. That God says, I'm going to challenge what you won't challenge. But I'm going to still give you a word to say. You're going to still have to rise up and declare my freedom. God says, I'm going to free you, but you got to declare you free and stay free. Jeez, go to Joshua. 10th chapter. We have to understand how serious God is about us. If you don't believe God loves you, keep living. If you don't believe God will fight for you, just stay right there. But if you don't believe God will exit the building, keep disobeying. Watch this here. Joshua 10th chapter. Let me pick it up in. I mean, Joshua was a warrior. He took over after Moses. We just talked about Moses. Joshua was Moses' successor. How many of you know? Whatever he was commanded to do, he said, finish it. Finish it. Joshua is the generation that has to finish it. There's some things you got to finish. There's some things your mama and them did not finish. Some of your warfare is out of your mama and them house. Some of it's off your daddy's side. Some of it's off your great-granddaddy. You still got to deal with it. Watch this here. And so Joshua, verse 15. And Joshua returned, and all Israel went to the camp of Gilgal. But these 5 kings fled and hid themselves in a cave at Macdah. And it was told Joshua, saying, the 5 kings are found hid in the cave at Macdah. And Joshua said, roll great stones upon the mouth of the cave, and set men by it for to keep them. And stay ye not, but pursue after your enemies. Pursue after your enemies, and smite the hindmost of them. Suffer them not to enter into their cities, for the Lord your God hath delivered them in your hand. Mark this. This is your season moving forward. God says, I'm going to put your enemy in your hand. Now here's the crazy thing. He's going to put him in your hand, but you got to kill him. It's no different than what I told you last month. God said, reveal and expose. If it's revealed and it's exposed, you still got to do something with it. It ain't going to be just good information. God said, I'm going to show you where your enemy is. I'm going to show you that he comes up by the cliff seas, sending out the praisers. I'm going to show you where your enemy is for your victory. Now, he says, told them to pursue their enemies, God delivered them in hand. in their hand. Verse 20. And it came to pass when Joshua and the children of Israel had made an end of slaying them with a very great slaughter, till they were consumed, that the rest which were remained of them entered into fenced cities. And all the people returned to camp to Joshua at Mecca in peace. None moved his tongue against any. There it is again. Against any of the children of Israel. See, sometimes your enemy ain't going to stop talking till you stand up. He's got to see your power in manifestation. He's got to see your willingness to fight for what you know belongs to you. Then Joshua said, open up the mouth of the cave and bring out those 5 kings unto me out of the cave. And they did so and brought forth those 5 kings unto him out of the cave. The king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon. And it came to pass when they brought out those kings unto Joshua, that Joshua called for all of the men of Israel and said unto the captains of the men of war. What kind of men were these? Okay. Men of war, which went with him, come near, put your feet upon the neck of these kings. Put your feet. How many know the devil is to be up under our feet? In essence, put your feet where it should have been. Because you lifted your feet, they done rose up to king status. These are king spirits that failure to deal with will bring you down. Failure to address. Now watch this, Ecclesiastes. Where the word of a king is, there's power. So there's something these kings are saying that has given them power. But I know I read it. Raymond, I know I read it somewhere. Didn't God make us kings and priests unto him? Well, why isn't our kingly voice being heard? Oh, you see it, don't just come together. See, you ain't saying nothing. See, watch this here. It's easy for a king to get an audience with a king. But when you don't see yourself as king, you want to stay at a subservient level. In the realm of the spirit, God says, I made you kings. I made you queens. I made you priests. I made you prophets. But you want to prophesy a house and a car. Gonna be the days that that's the ultimate of what we want. Gonna be the day that that's all you asking for. And you ain't gonna take it with you. Don't get me wrong, ain't nothing wrong with driving nice, but at the end of the day, that might cause you more headache and stress. But what good is the Cadillac and you can't get in it? What good is the suit and you can't wear it? Because of health challenges. Come on, y'all, we got to get things in perspective. Your first prayer would be, God, make me healed and whole. God, I want to be well. I want a sound mind. Come on, y'all. Come on. It's priority. It's priority. Watch this here. And so he told them, said, put your feet upon the necks of these kings. And they came near and put their feet upon the necks of them. And Joshua said unto them, fear not, nor be dismayed, but be strong and of good courage. For thus shall the Lord do to all your enemies against who you are fighting. And as God says, I got to give you the reign back. Because you done took your foot up off some stuff. And them spirits running crazy right now. You done took your foot. I told you. Your enemy is to be under your feet. But the problem is, we ain't standing up. We in the recliner, we got our feet in the air, and the enemy said, oh, y'all ain't paying me no attention. Y'all reclining right now. Y'all in the lazy boy. Ain't nobody standing up on me. Making sense? You done lift your feet at the wrong time. That's all it wanted you to do, was to get at ease in Zion. Get at ease in Zion. Zion ain't troubling hell no more. But God said, don't worry, I'm going to trouble it. And you're going to have to do something. I'm going to trouble it. And you're going to have to get in place. You're going to have to get in position. You're going to have to stand up. Because if you don't stand up, it's going to stand up on you. So, these kings are named the Spirit. So that first king, let me deal with some of this stuff for you today. That first king is Adonai-Sedek. It's the king of Jerusalem. This is called a spirit of oppression. God says, I'm tired of you being oppressed. You ain't possessed, you just oppressed. What does it mean to be oppressed? You just weighed down. Not the fame fall out. It's the spirit of oppression. And what it opens the door to is fear, poverty, confusion, and defeat. If you're taking notes, this is the spirit that comes after your peace. When it comes after your peace, its objective is to remove peace and instill worry and fear. And God had already told us what? Take no thought. But you're thinking too much. The Bible says, think upon that which is just, lovely, pure, wholesome, of a good report. But you're worried about this, and that. Now, here's the other thing. This spirit comes to cause you head pain, headaches. This spirit will come and cause there to be constriction in your chest. And that's what he want to make you think you're having a heart attack. He want to kill you. That's his purpose. I want to oppress you, and I want you to worry. I want you to think God ain't going to do this for you. I want you to think God doesn't have the ability. But you done forgot your own testimonies. The Bible says my testimonies are my counselors. Sometimes you guys got to go back and reflect. Again, understand, God did this then. God can do this now. This ain't too hard for God. God wants me to be blessed. God wants me to be healed. He wants me to be whole. He promised me. But oppression will make you see everything but the promise. Jesus. Second spirit is the king of Hebron. It's the spirit of religion. It makes you want to think you can perfect this thing by yourself. I ain't got to do all that praying y'all talking about doing. Called that Disney album. Yeah. I ain't got to do all that. If I tell them to go out there and pray for hours, I ain't got to do all that. Why you pray so long before service? It would take all that. Baby, let me help you today. If it was not for prayer, most would already be gone. I'm so glad we pray. And you can call us crazy, you can talk about us all I want, but I bet you one thing, when the enemy get after you, you'll come see us. You'll come see us. You'll call us on the alley. You'll call. Because you want to know who can get it through. Who can get it over this mess so we can get help. But that king of Hebron, he is the spirit of religion. He wants you to think that you can do this without the leading of the Holy Ghost. I ain't got to submit to nobody. I'm my own God. I'm my own instructor. Yeah. Okay. What this spirit does is leads you to passivity. You become real passive, not aggressive. There's no fight in you. You would much rather let it pass than deal with it. But at the same time, watch this, at the same time that you have no fight, you have no aggressiveness, you become exhausted. I thought this was real good. Watch this. So you think being passive, you would be well rested. But in passivity, you become exhausted. Not only do you become exhausted, it says that you suffer from broken relationships. You don't eat. This spirit makes you not fight for nothing. Y'all listen to me today? Tell you what God can help you with now. Because that's not God for you to be oppressed. It's not God for you to be religious. You can't do this without God. You can't sustain nor keep without God. But how is it that we in God and exhausted? And you ain't even in the fight yet and you're exhausted. You tired. You don't want to deal with spiritual warfare. Baby, we enlisted to a fight. We came to the fight. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Some of us knew. This was a fight. God says, I'm calling you first to be a soldier in the army of the Lord. You got to, what soldier gets in the army and then don't fight? Somebody told you wrong, but I'm going to tell you right today, it's a fight. This is a fight. It's a fight for your peace, for your joy, because the enemy don't want you to have nothing. He would rather you miss it and not get it. Glory to God. Let me give you the rest right quick. The third one, the king of Jamar, is the spirit of besiegement. The enemy wants to besiege you. What comes with that? Barrenness, unfruitfulness. Remember a couple of weeks ago I gave a word, God says, the fruitlessness of your busyness. You busy, so you would think that because you're so busy, you would be bearing much fruit. God said, you busy doing nothing though. And so this king spirit called Jamal is a spirit of besiegement that leads to barrenness, poverty, isolation, and then ultimately you die alone. Bible plainly tells us two are better than one, but you die alone. Two are better than one because if one falls, somebody else is there to pick them up. You done fell and ain't nobody there. You by yourself. So what does this spirit want you to do? It wants you to, number one, not submit to true spiritual authority. It wants you to continue to live a wild and unbridled life. It wants you to stay uncovered. remember what this day ever told me. God says, I'm coming to cover you again. Because you done ran from under the covering. The enemy that got you isolated. He got you on your own, doing your own thing. And at any point in time, he can attack. And there's no covering. That's why a lot of times young people don't get it. You need to be connected to a local church. Somebody got to cover you. Somebody's got to help you with your warfare. Jesus. They don't even understand what we said, People just don't get it. I'm just going to be straight with you. I really don't need no more warfare. To be honest. But it comes with the territory. See, a lot of people won't just fight till they find out the warfare. You got to pray for you, your house, and then every house. Paul said it this way. He said, it ain't enough. I got my own stuff. But then I got to, what he said around, I got to care of the church. And you think we don't need intercessors. That's why the good thing is, though, God says, I'm giving you a fivefold so you can spread that. All y'all got to get in this. Because it'll kill one man. But God knew. God know the design. That's why he put elders in place. Jesus. Let me give you this fourth. The king of Lachish is the spirit of blindness. This spirit comes to blind you. In essence, when this spirit comes, it makes you blind to not only the will of God, it makes you blind to yourself. So even now, as we're in this test, we've been before God, and we're saying, God, shine the light on me. You can have the light on you and still don't see your wrong. Don't see your error. Don't see your need to repent. And so you don't. And you continue marching on, watch this, in your own righteousness. It's called self-righteousness. But you ain't self-aware that you're unrighteous. You can justify you. There's no conviction. Jesus. And so what happens with this spirit is bondage. It's bondage. The Bible says, be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. But this spirit seeks to keep you consistently in bondage. And your main bondage is you. There's no joy. So you can be driving good, looking good, got money in the bank, and you still unhappy. You can look like everything is going right for you, but it's all wrong. You're in bondage. You're in bondage because you know you're not where you're supposed to be with God. See, stuff will never get you in right standing with God. Ain't no amount of money going to get you in right standing with God. You want to have a relationship with God. You can try the best of the best, live in the gated neighborhood, but until you know God. Now watch this. You're in a gated neighborhood with a security guard and you're still scared. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to deep on that one. Jesus. But it's reality though. Some people are like that. Always looking over your... Let me get to this last one. Time to go. So, the king of Eglon. This is the spirit of accusation. This spirit wants to always accuse you. It wants you to attack others' reputation. Because you're so mad at yourself. Now watch this. You ain't trying to lift nobody up. You're trying to bring everybody down so you're justified where you are. You're attacking one another for what? We're on the same team. To put you down is to put me down. We're on the same team. God says, I'm going to command the blessing in the place called unity. But you act like you ain't never did that wrong. You just. All of us have been made right. Y'all didn't catch that. If I had to be made right, I wasn't right. All have sinned. He that is without sin, where your stone? Throw it. See, you're scared to throw because you don't know how many more coming back at you. Because if that be the case, everybody walk around with a bag of rocks. I know you messed up. But by the same token, I hit you. You know, nothing coming at me because I'm wrong for hitting you. So this spirit, this king of Eglon, is a spirit of accusation. It always wants you to attack others. It wants you to discredit leaders. It wants you to attack the prophetic flow. It wants to remove you from the presence. Remember last week, and I told you, I said, one thing we need to just pray. We need to pray for the presence of God. Get the presence of God. This spirit does not want the presence of God to enter in. Because if the presence of God comes in, it exposes it. And that's why we want to pray, God, send your presence. Why? Because we want the exposure. God, we want the light to shine. God, we want to, watch this, y'all. Ain't no sin to get better. It's a sin to get worse. It's a sin to stay this close to the word and don't change. It's an indictment. I've been in the church 50 years and you still ain't no better. It's Jubilee now, and you still mad and grouchy and all of this. What happened? Well, you took your feet up, and one of these five got at you. These are keen spirits. Now watch this. And Joshua said unto them, fear not, nor be dismayed, but be strong and be of good courage, for thus shall the Lord do to all your enemies whom ye fight. And afterward Joshua smote them and slew them and hanged them on 5 trees. And they were hanging upon the trees until evening. And it came to pass at the time of the going down of the sun that Joshua commanded, and they took them down off the tree and cast them into the cave wherein they had been hid, and laid great stones in the mouth of the cave, which remains there until this very day. They have returned, and they must be put back. But watch this. While they were hidden, they were alive. God says, I'm bringing them out so you can kill them. Now they'll be buried alive. Because they did. There's no more life. Everything you represented, God says, I need it in the cave. I need it, watch this, don't miss this, I need it behind the rock. Because that rock is Jesus. Jesus said, if I ain't in front, if I ain't first, if I ain't foremost in your life, this is what you're dealing with. Your good news today, as you cross it over, God said, he's got to go. And I'm exposing them to help you. Locate what's got to go and kill it.